Before we start, I would start with a meditation from Thich Nhat Hanh, which is very apropos, is a meditation on self-love. And you might have, if you've studied with me, probably you've heard the name. I'll share the name because I bet some of you will be interested in knowing a little bit more who that person was, that we will do a little meditation together. This is Thich Nhat Hanh. He was a Vietnamese monk, Buddhist monk. And the mantra that we will start the workshop today with is from the book Teachings on Love. This is the book that changed my life. So if you could close your eyes for a moment, you can even lie down. Why don't you lie down? Right after that, we will do a Feldenkrais lesson. Lie down on the mat, lie down on the bed, whatever you feel comfortable, sofa, wherever you will be doing the lesson today. And then we will start with a little mantra. And I wrote the steps here, so you will have it if you want to refer to it in the future, or you can of course get the book and read it from the source. So we'll start the mantra. May I be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. And say it to yourself. May I be peaceful, safe, and light in body and spirit. Next is, may I be safe and free from injury. May I be safe and free from injury. And the last line is, may I be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. And we start this meditation on meditating on ourselves. The first step is doing the self-work. So these three lines, may I be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. May I be safe and free from injury. And may I be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. We work on that mantra for a while. After that, we can expand it not only to ourselves, but to others. You can say the same lines inside yourself, in your mind, directing your attention to someone. Easiest task is to start with someone you love. May he, she, they be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. Today, you may send these loving affirmations toward your mother. May she be peaceful, happy, light in body and spirit. May she be safe and free from injury. May she be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. And you spend some time on that person. Then, when you become a master of your feelings, emotions, then you can try the same thing on people who were not so kind to you, people who were not so loving, and could try the same three lines in your mind. May they be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. May they be safe and free from injury. And may they be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. Great. Continue lying down and pay attention to the contact that you're making on the floor right now, this very second. Maybe it's your bed, maybe it's your mattress, maybe it's your yoga mat, maybe it's your sofa, whatever that is. Or maybe you're choosing to do this lesson today in sitting. It won't be in an ideal position, but that's okay. And you can pay attention to the contact you have with the supporting surface, whether it's a chair, sofa, bed, or mattress. And feel how much of your body is touching the floor right now. Usually when we are comfortable, more and more of the body sinks into the ground. When we are relaxed, when we're peaceful, more of the body, close to 80% of the surface of the body is in touch with the floor. When we feel a little anxious, when we are in pain, when we have difficulties, the body is pulled off the floor. And we may feel like we are just lying on stilts, on little islands, maybe heels, back of the head, maybe sacrum, pelvis, a few points in your torso. Notice, where are you starting today's session? Where are you now? Are you closer to that 80% contact? Then pay attention to your spine. How is your spine interacting with the floor, with the ground? Your spine has 24 vertebrae, plus sacrum, inside wedge, inside your pelvis. Feel how the sacrum, lower back, middle back, and your neck contact the floor. Sometimes we feel most of the spine is more or less touching the floor. Certain places harder, closer to the floor. These correspond to those natural curves of the spine, the curves backward, called kyphosis. And then there are some parts that are just touching lightly. Sometimes, however, there are bridges, series of vertebrae that are off the floor, almost like permanently off the floor. And spend a moment to feel your ribs, your back of your torso, your chest, how your rib cage is resting on the floor, your shoulder blades. Can you sense contact of your right shoulder blade with the floor? How is it? How flat or how much of an on the edge or tilted your shoulder blade feels? I love that blue sky, Lori. Lovely. Some of you are doing it outside. Lovely. Feel your right shoulder blade and feel your left shoulder blade. Is there a difference between the two? Are the two shoulder blades symmetrical? Or would you say there is some difference between the two of them? Great. And please bend both of your knees if you haven't been choosing that position to begin. Stand your feet about shoulder width apart, comfortably, knees too, not together. And hug yourself. Put your right hand on your left shoulder and left hand underneath your right armpit, somewhere on the bottom of the shoulder, bottom of the arm. So you make a hug. Right hand on top, left hand on bottom. And very gently, using this hugging, loving hugging. So we started with self-love. I would love you to practice self-love throughout the whole session. Don't do anything that's forceful, that's effortful, that's straining, only things that feel nice to you and pleasant and safe. So as you are hugging yourself, begin to rock or roll your chest a little bit right and left, helping with your hands. Your right hand pulls your left shoulder, your left hand pulls underneath the right armpit, your ribs, maybe bottom of your shoulder blade, and very gently you're rocking yourself. Don't wrestle with yourself. It's not wrestling. It's gentle, pleasant rocking. Of course, some of you feel your chest is soft, supple, and it gives and it yields, and you feel nicely rolling. Others may feel like, whoa, I'm stiff. It's a little hard. The chest is like it's resisting. So don't fight that resistance. Just invite and then let go. Invite and let go. When you don't fight, the body will learn, your brain will learn, it will yield sooner or later. Notice as you're rolling gently right and left, is your head following the movement? Can you feel your head turning gently, following this movement of the chest from side to side? Slowly, not fast, not fast. No, there is no price in doing more. Think of quality. What we're practicing is this special quality of kindness, of softness, of not insisting, not being critical of yourself, judgmental, but rather merging with what is, even if something is stiff, even if something is not moving as well as you wish. You're not fighting it. Good. Now change your hands. So left hand will go on top and right hand will go under your armpit. And feel, to begin, can you sense it's a little bit different? It's not the same exact hold. For some of you, this represents more habitual, therefore more comfortable, more that you used to, accustomed to. For others, it will feel, oh, this is different. On this side, it feels a little unfamiliar, awkward. And then begin to make the movement of gentle rocking, inviting your chest to move a little right and a little left. And of course, don't hold the computer or iPad in your hands. Rather put it, just listen to my voice. You don't have to see. I'm not going to be demonstrating. We always do according to what you understand. Movement according to your understanding. You're hugging yourself and you're inviting with your hands a gentle roll to the right, to the left. And your head, see, is your head following your chest? For some, head rolls. For others, the head stays still. Now, let's see, what does it feel like? Hold your head still, fix your head, and feel what it means to roll like that, but your head remains still. That requires your neck, your upper neck, to have stillness and lower neck to cope with the turning that's coming from your spine of your middle back. Can you feel it? This actually requires, curiously, it requires neck that is able to move in the opposition. For the head to be still, the neck, you can picture this, right? If you had a periscope, just one tube, you roll the bottom, the top needs to roll. There is no other choice. But here we're asking the top of the tube to look straight to the ceiling. So that requires some kind of refinement, some kind of freedom between the bottom of the tube, your chest, your spine between your shoulder blades, and the very top of your neck, atlas, the vertebra on which your head is sitting. Good. Change your hands one more time. And do this again with your head fixed. Feel. What's that sensation? What do you need to do not to make the head move? This is more complicated movement. You will find, many of you will find that it will be a relief to let the head go and let the head roll in a moment. For some of you, it's a lesson of, holding the head. It's draining my energy. Good, now let go and allow the head to roll. Allow the head to follow the movement of your chest, your breastbone, your shoulders, your shoulder blades in the same direction, to allow the head to roll in the same direction. In a moment, we'll go in the opposite, but for now, the same direction. Imagine a baby, a swaddled baby, a newborn, and you just rock their shoulder a little bit right and left. Will the head join the movement? Or would the head be fixed, forehead straight to the ceiling? No, I'm not moving. It's mostly will be a little bit of movement together, right? Now put your arms down along the sides, stretch out your knees, and observe if already something about your contact with the floor feels a little different. Notice that. How your shoulder blades are resting, the width of your shoulders, openness of your chest. Did the body become a little bit more comfortable after what we did? That will be a great sign. That will be a great response. Good. Hug yourself again in your habitual way, whichever, when you don't think, hug yourself. How do you hug yourself? Right on top or left on top? Both knees are bent. And begin to rock again, very gently rolling right and left, soft and soft and soft. Soft and soft and soft. Feel how your nose, your face, whether it follows the direction of turning. Imagine if you were hugging a big teddy bear and just rolling gently right, gently left. Excellent. And now let's do the oppositional movement of the head. Chest goes right, head gently rolls left. Head rolls right, chest rolls left. Head rolls left, chest rolls right. And continue oppositional movement. Make it very small, because for some of you, the neck is vulnerable and doesn't know how to turn that well. So again, the point is not stretching. The point is not being forceful with yourself, but rather to discover some freedom that normally when we're rushing, when we're going about our business habitually, that freedom is not available. And that's why you give yourself this hour to give time, space. There is no rush. This is not an examination you need to pass. There is no pressure. And you're moving your head gently in opposition to your chest. Switch hugging to your non-habitual hug and continue a couple more times in the opposition. So your elbows move a little bit right and the nose moves left, and the elbows move left and your face, nose turns right. Only within the range that feels nice to you. That is not forceful. Feel here, your neck has to be even more refined than before when you were holding it still, because the upper vertebrae are rotating to the right, while your thoracic and perhaps even lower cervical spine is turning left. Each one of us has a different signature, like hand signature of movement. Some of you, when you turn your chest, the bottom cervical spine is going with the chest. For some of you, the bottom of the cervical spine is moving with the head. Can you detect that? What's happening? How do you meet that counter rotation? Do you meet in the lower parts of your spine, in the midsection, in your neck? Where is it? Interesting thing. It's not obvious. We have over 100 people, and each one here, each one of you is doing slightly different. There's no replica. And it's also possible that to the right, you're moving differently than to the left. That is not only the differences between different people, but how you do it to the right and how you do it to the left may be different. It's not a mirror image. Go back to turning your head in the same direction. That less differentiated movement, everything pouring to the right, everything gently pouring to the left. And feel if it's feeling a little simpler, like your head is just following. You don't need to strain your neck. You don't need to tense up anything. Lovely. Stretch out your legs, put your arms down. Re-examine your contact with the floor. See, can you feel that the movement and paying attention is changing how you are? That your past self, the old self, I mean, not very old self from when we started 10, 12, 15 minutes ago. The old self from 10 minutes ago was lying differently than you're lying now. Can you feel that? Maybe shoulder blades are fuller in contact. Maybe they're less on edge. Maybe they're flatter. Maybe they're a little wider. Maybe your new self, your current self, is breathing a little bit better. Your chest is moving perhaps a little bit freer, this rolling motion. Maybe your diaphragm, your belly, is a little freer to draw air in and to let the air out. See if you can detect some changes between your not that old self and current self is different. Because what we do at this moment is going to impact your future self, yourself in 5 minutes, yourself in 10 minutes. And of course, all of us want betterment. We want to be better. We want to feel better. We want to be healthier. We want to be more flexible. We want to be stronger. We want to be graceful and fluid. We want to be peaceful, safe. So the only really tool we have to make that impact is right now. What you do at this very moment, not 10 minutes ago, that's already gone. That's past. You have no impact on that anymore. But what you are doing now, and the next time we make a movement. So it's important to learn how to cherish, to really take care of this precious moment and how you involve yourself in movement, in actions. Now, please, with your legs long, put your fingers interlaced on your head. Interlace your fingers and place your palms, your hands on your forehead. So in the way the hands will fix your head a little bit. If holding palms is not comfortable, you can invert it. So maybe hold it with the back of your hands. If your shoulders don't allow it, maybe you can just put your palms straight without interlacing. You do again something that is comfortable, that is not straining. You fixing your head, your forehead. And now begin to roll your pelvis. Roll your hips gently. Rock, toss your pelvis gently. Right, left, right, left. Feel, how will you go about this? How will you solve this movement problem? How can you make it lightly? Think of what I just said a moment, that the most impact you have on your future self is right now. What you do right now. Make sure that you're rolling the pelvis without straining, without rushing, without being impatient, without yanking anything. That will make your future self suffer. You don't want future self suffering. You want it to be happy. Roll gently right and left. How you do that? Do you push your heel and then other heel and then right heel, left heel, right heel? Do you push your buttocks somehow? Do you do something with your lower back or with your abdomen? How do you turn your pelvis? Rock and roll gently. Doesn't have to be big. It can be small. It can be, make it pleasant. Rock, rock, right, left, right, left. First, we do it slowly. Then we may toss the pelvis a little faster. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, plump, 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 plump. Gently feel how your chest is freeing and your head is not moving. You fixed your head. The head is the one that is not moving. Anything below it, your breastbone, your spine between your shoulder blades might be a little bit following your pelvis. And it's different. In some of you, it is. In some of you, the chest is slightly stiffer and you're moving more in the lower back. And you respect your own handwriting. Stop for a moment. Put your hands down at your sides and rest. Feel contact that you're making with the floor. Has that changed anything? That your pelvis tossing, turning, did this impact how your lower back is contacting the floor, your ribs, your shoulder blades, your buttocks? Did this impact the way your legs are lying? Now, please bend both of your knees. We'll do alternative. Your knees are bent now, standing. Again, interlace your fingers, fix your forehead, put your palms on the forehead so the head is stationary. And now rock your pelvis gently. First slow, don't go fast. First slow with your knees bent. For some, this will feel easier than with legs long. For others, it may feel less easy. Feel what it's like for you to rock your pelvis, to turn it a little bit right, to turn it a little bit left. Is this simpler comparing to the legs long, or is it a little bit more difficult or foreign? Don't stretch. Your legs don't need to go all the way to the floor from side to side. It doesn't have to be so big movement. Feel, are you moving your knees? Do your knees follow that movement? Let's examine that. What would it feel like for knees to tilt right and to tilt left? And the movement of tilting the knees is turning your pelvis. It's turning your lower back. Can you feel bottom of your rib cage following your pelvis from side to side? Again, don't stretch. Your future self will thank you if you don't stretch. If you do it, if you guard it, if you are disciplined, like somebody who's taking their art seriously, like musician who is polishing their performance, their skill, their chops. It's day in, day out, a little bit progress, not forceful, gently, right and left. How far up your skeleton can you sense connection? The only thing that shouldn't move is your head. Everything else could move. Of course, for many of us, it won't, because we're used to holding tension in the chest or in the breastbone and the ribs and the spine. So maybe we feel only in the lower portion, or it skips certain portion and then moves higher up. Just watch what it's like for you. Great. Now, challenge. How to roll the pelvis without moving your knees. Keep your knees upright and still roll your pelvis right and left. How will you solve that problem? It requires maybe pushing with one foot. Right foot pushes and your pelvis rolls left, but not the knees. And then the left foot pushes and the pelvis rolls to the right, away from that foot. See if that works. Applying gentle pressure from foot to foot, not massive. Again, be masterful, learn to be masterful in the present moment. This is the only moment that you have, this very moment that you have right now. And how you apply that pressure, right foot, how the right buttock is lifting, how the pelvis starts to roll left, and then you reversing to the other side. Lovely. Do you exhale as you roll and inhale as you come back? Try that. How will that work? Exhale as you roll. Inhale on return. Exhale as you roll. Inhale on return. Exhale as you roll to the other side. Inhale on return. So you're emptying your lungs. You're making your chest a little bit more flexible by expelling the air rather than trapping. Imagine like a balloon that is inflated. Of course, it's stiffer. It doesn't twist. It doesn't turn as easily. But if you empty your lungs as you move, you may sense more motion under your armpits, breastbone. Beautiful. Leave it. Put your hands down. Stretch out your legs. And again, compare your current self to the self from 5 minutes ago, from 20 minutes ago. How are you lying? Is this pleasant? Are you breathing a little freer? Do you maybe feel internally, not only in your body, but in your mind, some shift? Maybe there is a little bit less rush. Maybe at the beginning, you felt a little bit like so many things and you have to do this and you have to do that. And now you may feel there is a little bit of a space that you have. There is, the time is not so squeezed. Maybe. See, is there a difference in? Great. Now, for those of you who are comfortable lying on the stomach, roll over onto your tummy. If you don't like lying on the stomach, don't do it. No, no harm. No, don't push yourself again. Act out of self-love. You know yourself. You know what works, what doesn't. You won't miss anything if you skip this one sequence. Now, place your left hand, your palm under your forehead. Left palm under your forehead, so the face is pretty much straight down. And put your right hand on the back of the head. If you do it in sitting or lying on your back, you can still do the same thing in lying on the back too. So left hand is on the forehead, right hand is on the back of the head. For those of you who lie on the stomach, lift your right elbow a little bit, and with your right hand, make your head roll a little bit right and left. Many of you will feel that's not the easiest of movements. You will feel your postural muscles, the muscles of the middle back, they need to contract. You're waking them up a little bit to lift the elbow up in the air and roll your back of the head with your palm. It's a little bit of a workout for the muscles of the postural muscles in the middle of the back. Do a couple of movements, 2, 3, then rest or more. Gently, again, not forcefully, and feel if your head can roll. If you do it in sitting, You have your left hand stationary and the right hand is behind you, and your right hand is evoking rolling of your forehead in your left palm. Let's do it 3 more times. Gently roll right and left. Right and left. Good. Stop. Put your right hand back down. Maybe your forehead is resting now on your both hands. Take a breather, quiet. And then switch your hands. Put your forehead, your right hand underneath your forehead, left hand on the back of the head. Again, you can do this in sitting position or lying on your back too. Right hand is on the forehead, left is on the back of the head. And with your left hand, you are inviting your head to roll. You'll see it's not so easy. Many of you will feel like, oh, I'm holding my neck. I'm kind of fighting myself a little bit. How can I yield to my left hand, inviting the head to roll a little bit? And the key word is inviting, not force. Your left hand is not forcing your head to move. It's inviting it to roll a little bit this way, a little bit that way. Of course, the left elbow up in the air, that's all the shoulder blade muscles that they work. For some of you, they will fatigue early. You just rest. If you do 2 movements and you need to rest, you rest. Beautiful. And then put your hand again underneath your other hand, and forehead is resting on the backs of your 2 hands. Now, toss your pelvis gently right and left. Rock your pelvis right and left. For those of you who are on the stomach, you have a new experience of moving the pelvis that's slightly different than the one when you were lying on the back. For those of you who are on your back, you're just repeating that and you have a new experience, because what you don't want to do is to do mindless exercises like your exercise. Oh, I've done that already. Oh, nothing new. Work in such a way that every moment is beginning anew. Every roll is like you've never rolled your pelvis before, with curiosity, with sensation, with gentleness, with awareness. You rock your pelvis, little right, little left, little right, little left, little right, little left. Feel your back, feel your rib cage, feel your shoulder blades. Can you sense your shoulder blades following that movement from the pelvis? Again, be like martial artist, like a black belt of martial arts or meditation master. Guard the moment, this very moment. How you do it will impact how you will feel in 2 minutes, in 5 minutes, in 1 hour. And if you do it skillfully, you will feel lovely. You will feel like, wow, that's nice. That was nice. That was good for me. If you strain, you might feel it's not so pleasant. Great. And then stop and roll onto your back, please. And roll on your back and rest for a second, just a moment. How is your current self feeling? Notice width of your shoulders, openness in your chest, sensation in your hips. How much of the back of the body is interacting with the ground? Would you say you're feeling a little flatter, a little more yielding into the ground, letting go, yielding to gravity, less fighting? Sense your breathing. What's the feeling of breath coming in and going out, coming in and going out. And let's go back to the hugging. Put your dominant hand, the way you habitually hug yourself. We'll do both sides, so it doesn't matter where you start. And very gently roll yourself and feel if your hands encounter less resistance. Can you feel that to initiate rolling right and left, it doesn't take as much force as initially? That your chest is a little bit more supple. Your spine is giving a little bit more. Watch how your head is responding to this movement. What's the simplest? The swaddled baby rolled a little bit right and left, or you lying on some kind of boat and very peacefully, gently rolling right and left. Good. Stop. Switch your hands. Do the non-habitual hugging. And repeat the movement again a couple of times, right and left. And put your arms down, stretch out your legs down, relax for a second. Listen to the quality of your experience right now at this moment. For me, the Feldenkrais training, Feldenkrais lessons, Feldenkrais practice is kind of similar to meditation practice when it comes to being in the moment, to learning how to be present from moment to moment, how to counter those natural tendencies when we are bombarded with so much information nowadays and the news that cause feelings and stresses of our lives, and how we are overbooked and overworked and we have to do so many things. This kind of lifestyle doesn't put you in the moment. You all the time, oh, I forgot this. Oh, I have to, what do I need to do the rest of the day? Oh, I need to, before Monday, it's a new week starting. I have to do this and this and that. And then you're not in the moment. You're either in the past, in the future, in the worries, in the regrets from what you missed, what you didn't do right. And this is a good recipe to feel anxious, to not be so wonderfully loving and peaceful and nice internally and healthy, of course. So training to counter those tendencies of modern world, spending an hour where you are fully immersed from moment to moment. What you did at the beginning of the lesson is already over. It's just this very moment right now. And it is so funny because it always passes. It's that moment where I began the sentence is already past. It's already gone. This doesn't exist anymore. It's done. Now is important. And now is important. And now is important. And the next breath. And the next movement. And this movement. But we need to train it because it won't come by itself. This ability to fully immerse ourselves in a moment and then guide ourselves that we act skillfully in a way that will make us better, that will make you better. And you can keep on improving forever. You can be 105 years old and you're still going to be better tomorrow than you're today. Keep getting better, keep getting better. But we need to know the process, how to do that. And the key to the process is the present moment. What you do, how. If you listen to me and you're clenching your teeth and you're worrying about something else and you just partially, then it will affect how you feel now and in 1 minute and the next minute. So being fully present and in charge of your moment, controlling that moment in a way. Now, please hug yourself again. And let's do it right hand on top, left hand on underneath. So for some will be habitual, for some will be non-habitual. We'll do it for the sake of instruction. Right hand is on top of the shoulder or side of the shoulder, left is from underneath. Knees are bent. And now very gently, roll to the right by pulling with your right hand your left shoulder. And watch what happens underneath your left foot. Can you sense spontaneous mobilization of the foot into the floor? In other words, is your left foot pushing a little bit into the ground to help your right hand, to help roll the body to the right? Try that a few times. Be subtle, be gentle. For some, it's obvious. For some, it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't feel. And some of you may overdo and push a little too hard to the floor. See how much pressure will help your pelvis roll right, which in turn will help your chest roll right. And then when your left hand is pulling you to the left from underneath armpit, your right foot presses into the ground. And do this from side to side, alternating gently. Push from right foot, push from the left foot. And it's not a harsh push. It's not like hard isometric where you clench your belly and your jaw gets tense and your face gets serious. No, it's that softly stepping on the floor. If you have a walk, if you've experienced walking and being in kind of in the zone where it's light, you're just lovely. It's walking is happening almost by itself. This kind of accenting with your foot and the other foot and right foot and the left foot. Gently, not insisting anything. From foot to foot, from foot to foot. Great. Switch your hands. So now will be your left hand on top and right from under armpit. And start by rolling left, meaning your left hand is pulling your right shoulder, and push gently your right foot. Very gently, right foot. Sense the timing. What's the nice timing between pulling the shoulder with your hand and pressing, stepping with your foot? Do it a couple times to examine where you press too early or when you press too late with your foot. And sense there is a sweet moment where it's just right, where it makes sense. It helps you roll. If it's too early, it's a little confusing. It rolls the pelvis, but shoulders are still lying down. If it's too late, it feels like you're hauling something and pulling something hard. Can you feel that? What will be the right, good timing for you? Can you discover that? And then from side to side. And if you're comfortable, you could go a little faster, but without jostling. Some of you may have some vestibular problems, so going fast is not a wise idea. Again, if you know that history, use that history in the present moment skillfully so you won't pay feeling woozy after the session. Do it light, do it simple. Excellent. Leave it all alone. Straighten your legs, straighten your arms, and watch the contact that you make with the floor. Is it different than when we started? Do you feel your shoulders are wider? Does it feel like your spine grew a little bit, got taller? The curvatures, the zigzags, the twists in the spine straighten a little bit? Please bend both of your knees. This time your hands are down at your sides and start to press your right foot and then the left foot and the right foot and the left foot in such a way that the pelvis will start rocking a little bit from side to side. Gently, gently, softly. Feel how high up can you sense this movement? Can you feel it up in the armpits? Can you sense your chest turning relatively to your pelvis, relatively to your feet, relatively to your head? Now, those of you who can do bridge without any pain in the back or any strain, if you can do bridging movement, do the same movement in the bridge. Again, if you can't or if you struggle with it, it doesn't pay. Be skillful in the present moment. Don't do anything that's too much. For those of you who can, you lift your buttocks up in the air for a moment and then rotate your pelvis a little bit right and left, little bit, tiny bit. One buttock goes down, the other buttock goes down, one, the other. And feel it in the center of your chest, between your shoulder blades. Can you feel the movement there? That place in the middle back so often is stiff. Often we have kyphosis there and it's all kind of in fixed position. Now it's a opportunity to limber it up. Those of you who don't lift the pelvis, you can still roll a little bit right and left and sense how your chest can move behind the breastbone. Excellent. Leave it alone. Stretch out everything and rest. And observe, what is your current self like in terms of your body, in terms of how it's touching the floor, in terms of the state of musculature, whether when muscles are more at ease, a little softer. Again, you won't be fighting gravity. You'll be giving into the ground. You will feel this nice, solid contact with the ground. What's your sense of breath coming in and out? Your chest moving, your belly moving. Can you feel breath under your armpits? Very nice. And one more time, before we get up, I'll read you that little mantra that we started with and see if it lands differently than initially, if it reaches a little bit deeper. Again, we start with ourselves. We start on self-love. May I be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. May I be safe and free from injury. May I be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. Peaceful, happy, light in body and spirit, safe and free from injury, and free from anger, affliction, fear, and anxiety. And then See if you can choose a person, maybe your mother for Mother's Day, maybe somebody else, that you could direct that message internally toward that lovely person. May she, he, they be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. May this person be safe and free from injury. May they be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. And then, as I said initially, that as you get stronger with that practice, as you get better and better, you could direct even to people who we would call enemies, or who harmed us in the past, or did something not nice, not kind to us, that made us angry. And when we are strong enough in our body and in our mind, then we may even practice that. May that person be peaceful, happy, light in body and spirit. May that person be safe and free from injury. And may that person be free from anger, afflictions, fear, and anxiety. But always we start with ourselves. We cannot have this loving kindness toward others, toward the world, toward conflicts, toward troubles, before we can take care of ourselves. Please bend both of your knees and roll to your side and come up to sitting. And come to standing. Some of you may want to take time in the process of getting up. Sit for a moment, be with yourself. Others who feel ready to spring up to standing, go ahead and come onto your feet. And again, be in the present moment right now. Past is past. What we did, lovely or not lovely, you loved it, you hated it, it's in the past. It's right now what matters. This very moment, it matters. And be fully in this moment. And be in charge of this moment, because you can decide what you're doing in this moment. You cannot decide what happened to you in the past. We kind of try to decide what will happen in our future, but who knows what will happen? There's so many factors. But what you're doing right now, you're the queen and king of this moment. You're in charge. Feel what it's like to stand, to be grounded, feet grounded. How long is your spine? How tall you feel without trying, without changing anything in yourself, spontaneously. Did this hugging, rolling, turning, articulating your pelvis, your shoulders, your head, did it impact the way you carry yourself right now? The way you breathe in standing? Your face, your softness of the face? Walk around. If you are limited by space, walk in place. Lift one heel, lift the other heel. If you have little room around you, walk around you. Arriving. Thich Nhat Hanh was teaching the present moment in walking meditations, where you always arrive. It's your right foot arriving, and now left foot arriving, and now it's the right foot arriving, and left all the time. Right, left, being in the moment. Beautiful. Thank you for being with me. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and all the wonderful quality of being a mother. I'll hang around for a few moments if you. Oh, thank you, Victoria. Terrific session. Beautiful. Love it. Thanks. If you want to share anything, or if you have any questions, I'll hang around for 5 minutes or so, unless you want to be just with yourself and you had enough, you got what you needed.
Merrick.
Yes, Nikki.
As usual, it was the perfect lesson. I pulled some intercostals, mainly in the back, and it just been in significant pain since Friday.
Uh-huh.
So I did it mainly, just visualization.
In your mind. Beautiful.
And yet I can feel a difference. So
Gorgeous.
it was just great. And
Excellent. Excellent. That's a skill we should all learn from Nikki. Like when you're struggling, when your present moment feels like, oh, I pulled that. If I keep twisting, it's just going to fight back, right? If some tissue is in spasm because it got twisted, got pulled, that tissue, the last thing it wants is to be yanked. But here it is, the guy says roll right and left. And now you have a decision. Oh, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to do it in my mind. What would it feel like to do it in my mind, but not to do it physically? And you can have a spectacular results like this. Wonderful.
and what was the Thich Nhat Hanh book again?
A Thich Nhat Hanh book is, we're going to, I know Wallace said, because of as I was exiting my PowerPoint, I didn't save it, I canceled it, and so I don't have that. It's this book, Teachings on Love. This is my favorite book of all the books on the planet. This is, I fell in love with this book. My father, some of you know his story. My father came for meditation retreat, for 3 months silent meditation retreat. At the time, I didn't want to have anything to do with meditations or with spirituality. So after he came back, he wanted to get some books. So we went to Barnes and Noble, and I left him there for an hour. I went to my sections, whatever I was interested in. And after an hour, I came back and he was sitting on the floor and reading, still reading. Didn't want to interrupt him. So I kind of hung around. And I see that spine of this book with the title Teachings on Love. And I think like, that's a nice title. And let me pull it. And I pulled it. And from the first page, it was like love from the first sight. I was like, whoa, if I ever wanted to write, I would love to write like this. Oh my God. I bought that book. And then I bought everything else that he read and went studied with him. And so it's really worthwhile material.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mari. It was a beautiful lesson on self-care for everyone, for mothers, parents, and I know that you practice it well because I worked with you. And thank you for this beautiful, beautiful class chosen very, very well. You are my maestro, man.
Thank you so much. At your service. Ellen, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you also. I've been pushing myself because I'm going to have surgery in June. So I've been pushing at work and pushing, and I haven't been on the mat for weeks. And my mid back has been so stiff from work on the computer. And anyway, and so this was like a break. It was like everything. It was like a log jam. And it's like it got me back on into smooth water, and like I didn't know if I would ever get unstuck. And anyway, thank you so much, because I'm not sure I would have been on the mat this morning if it weren't for your invitation for Mother's Day. And beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad. I'm very happy. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Helen. Okay, I'm reading in the chat.
Hi, Mary. Can I?
Sure, please. Mike.
I am so glad you have this class. I was just thinking about asking you, are you going to have any more classes in the future?
Yeah, we will. Of course, we will. I'm working on something special. I'm working on all cylinders. You're going to see soon a new course. It will be on knees, and it will be the best I've ever done. Or maybe I'm setting the high standards, but I'm excited about this, and I've been like working on it like for forever. But you will see soon. And
this is a really amazing class. I started with a little bit of shoulder restriction on the right side, and I was going easy. but halfway through, it seems like everything was coming together. And I can feel my thoracic spine, like T6, kind of come to terms with everything. It's just amazing. And I just love it. I mean, you put so much thoughts into these classes that I've always appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Nai.
It's a wonderful gift. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you, Myra. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Karen. Bye, Tracy.
Happy Mother's Day.
Suzanne, hey. Happy Mother's Day. Hi, Rachel. Bye, Nezrin. Nezrin's here. Great.
It was also very inspiring how you said that we always heard the present moment, but this very movement will determine the future. I mean, I've heard this present moment, but when you take it to this movement, that was a nuance that I felt like took me one step closer to realizing the meaning of the present moment.
Yeah, wonderful observation, because it really that was the spectacular thing that Dr. Feldenkrais discovered, that movement is the vehicle that can unlock so many things, including our psychology, not words. I mean, of course, words, you need to talk to your therapist on your feelings, etc. But movement is so primal to our existence. Like everything that we do, if you think even counting, you could count in your mind 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're still firing the motor paths in your brain that control verbalization. That's why when they compare the counting from 1 to 10, it takes shorter mentally than from 11 to 20, because 11 to 20, 12, 13, 14, 15 is longer than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10, right? So our motor responses are included even in things like abstract counting, but not to say that it's all motor, but I would say 8% of our life is motor. You're doing something. You're swallowing is motor. Eating is motor. Talking to somebody, you have to move your lips, coordinating your breath, your chest, you gesticulate, you communicate, right? With your face, facial expressions. So it's motor. And of course, our work, playing violin, what is it? It's motor. You moving things. So taking care of the moment through movement, through my experience right now as I am, that makes it very concrete. It's practical. It's practical. You can learn to say, oh, I did it unskillfully. I did it with my clenched jaw or with my held breath. Let me again. Let me redo it again. Let me open the door. Like Thich Nhat Hanh, there's a story where he visited Thomas Morton. And Thomas Morton said that, oh, I can recognize a true monk by the way he opens the door. Not by his philosophies and mantras, but by how carefully he would turn the doorknob.
Wow.
Close the door rather than slamming it, yanking it like we are doing it often, right? So yeah, motor, that's the whole world. It could be we could do a lot of progress by improving how we move, because so often we are very deterministic in our way of thinking about movement. We think, oh, I move because of my habits, or because I had this injury, or I have the arthritis in my knee, that's why I move like that. I would challenge that. It's not only, of course, your arthritis impacts how you move, but you still have probably 30 million of options how you could move and move better with that arthritis, with that multiple sclerosis, with that Parkinson's, with that whatever you have, whatever life brings our way. So yeah, it's the whole world. That's why I have my thing in the world. Movement, that's all I will do for, I think, forever. because it's such a powerful tool. Anyhow, thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day. Have a beautiful, pleasant day. Cheers.